WBLS Hot 97 WLIB. I want to welcome you to the second day of the Circle of Sisters Expo 2016. My name is Jameer Pond, and I am joined by, first of all, a very sharp brother. Let me just say that because the blazer you got on, sir. I couldn't even say fleek.
Do that again, Jameer. All right, brother.
That's like fire and fleek at the same time. Yeah.
I got you.
It is none other than Mr. Mathew Knowles. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Hey.
You know, every day I get to live my dream every day.
And that's exactly where I think all of us and the viewers are trying to go. So hopefully we can get some wisdom for you to, take trails and live in our dreams too.
Can you do that one more time?
You like that, right?
I like that, man.
If you take it,
You know, when I
10%.
used to shoot my jump shots, when they went through the nets,
Same kind of,
just like that.
I'm not as athletically inclined. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty much off the cuff. But you
I
can have that
I
if
can
you
tell
want.
how you did your wrist. You didn't do it right.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Wait, hold on. Wait. So,
Yeah.
no, but you,
Yes.
but my pinky's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Yeah, we'll work on that. So, all right. So you were always frequent at the Circle of Sisters. What about the Circle of Sisters just attracts you?
I mean, the whole concept is really valuable for the community. It's important that there's a opportunity and that there's a forum for our sisters to really have the opportunity to talk about today's topics, the things that are on their mind and front and center, and to give empowerment. And to give empowerment to them. So, this is very important, and it's got to continue. It has to continue. And I'm just proud to be able to play a part with Circle of Sisters.
Yes, and we appreciate you for coming and, your continuous attendance at Circle of Sisters. So you were on a panel yesterday. What panel was that?
Well, I actually wasn't on a panel.
Okay.
I gave my own session.
Excuse me.
You are excused, young man.
Yeah.
It was called DNA of Achievers, 10
Yeah.
Traits of Highly Successful Professionals.
Your
And we'll
book.
do that, my book. And we'll do that again today at 2:30.
Nice. So let's get into that because just from looking at some of the traits, I would like you to explain what it takes to be an achiever in life.
Well, first of all, I believe inside of all of us, there's this almost, it's in a boiled up and it's ready to explode. I think that's in all of us, and it's called passion.
Yeah.
The key is, how do we find our passion? How do we unveil our passion? What is that thing that we wake up in the morning and go to bed at night and we just can't stop thinking about it? I think everyone has that one thing, and often they're embarrassed or frightened to tell anyone else because they're so concerned, what are they going to say if I tell them this is really my passion?
Right.
So number one is finding and unveiling that passion that is inside of us. Because once you live your passion, you never work a day in your life.
Right.
And that's the second trait, is work ethics. But passion and work ethics, they coexist. You can't have one without the other. In other words, you can't find a person who has tremendous work ethics without value, without passion. And you can't find someone with passion that doesn't have tremendous work ethics.
Right.
They coexist.
Right. And what I found is people have actually hit a ceiling on actually saying their passion out loud. Like, a lot of people are afraid and very protective of their passions, and they will not live in it because they're afraid of saying it and they're afraid of actually walking into it. So what kind of help can you give to those people who just have problems putting it out there?
Well, they're afraid again because they're concerned about what people think about them. What is mama gonna say? Mama want me to be a doctor. What is daddy gonna say? What is boyfriend gonna say? What is best friend gonna say when I tell them this is my passion? And you have to be a visionary. And when you're a visionary, you don't care about what other people think. That's part of being a visionary, right? And so even in our dialogue, I'm talking about these 10 traits because being a visionary is one of them. Having that idea. It might not be the cool thing. How do you know when you have a great vision is when everybody tells you that won't happen? And the mistake that we often make is that we tell people our vision way too soon, and then we're asking them, what do you think?
Right.
So a true visionary never asks, what do you think? They say something like this: I want to put together this group called Destiny's Child. I need for you to invest $100,000 in it. I'm not asking you if you like it or not.
Right.
I'm not asking your opinion. A visionary never asks an opinion. They tell you their vision and what they need from you.
So a lot of it has to come with power words too, right? So like not, oh, maybe or this, and it's like, I want to.
Now, it comes from confidence also,
right.
that you feel very strongly with passion. You've done the work that you know, and you put together the plan, because you have to have a strategic plan to be successful, because failure to plan is planning to fail, right?
Yeah.
And so all of these traits, they coexist with each other. It means you also have to be a risk taker. And what is a risk taker? Risk taker is just simply saying, what I'm accomplishing, what I'm about to do, it might not work. That's what risk taking is. What I'm about to do might not work. And I know going in, this might not work, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Wow.
That's risk taking.
Now, you talk about confidence and passion, and I want to know from your personal story, how long did it take you to kind of develop these skills? Because, you know, I'm sure coming out of the gate, I don't know if you thought of yourself as a visionary, but you had to work towards that. So when do you think was the defining moment in your life where you were able to go, I got it?
Well, for me, I was blessed. And I'll give you the short version. Growing up in Gaston, Alabama, 30,000 people. Dad made $30 a week. Mom made $3 a day as a colored maid. Dad convinced the owners of the trucking company to let him have the truck 7 days a week.
Wow.
He utilized that truck by tearing down old houses and buildings and selling the coppers and the metals, buying old cars and selling every parts that the car, from the hubcaps to the transmission. Mom took that $3 a day that she made, convinced those white women to give her any of the old clothes that they were going to throw away, regardless how house worn they were, didn't matter. Convinced them to ask their other girlfriends to do the same. And then on the weekends, my mom and two of her girlfriends would make these beautiful quilts, and then they would sell them. I was fortunate to grow up watching my parents, although poor, being entrepreneurs. And that's, for me, an experience that most people don't have. A lot of men, unfortunately, today, I grew up with my mother and father.
Right.
Just like my daughters grew up with their mother and fathers. And that's another conversation when both parents are in the household and in the home. But that's, for me, when I kind of, something I always wanted to be a businessman when I was a kid. Didn't know what a businessman really meant, but folks would say, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a businessman. And that's what I always wanted to be. And my life has always kind of, that was the road I wanted to take, and I'm still on that road as an entrepreneur.
Yes. And as we can tell, you know, from your story, it paid off, and now you are instilling it into a new generation, and you have a wonderful girl group, Blush, which I had the pleasure of seeing in Harlem for our Harlem Week. And I mean, you just have a knack, clearly, for finding talent. And
well, again, it's being a visionary.
Yeah.
With Blush Music, it's the first. I love being a first. It's the first time that we've had a female rap group.
Right.
Because we have two rappers and a vocalist.
Yeah.
Which has never been done. But I always kind of describe them. If you had a girl group, 3 girls, and you had Beyonce in a group, Left Eye, and MC Light.
Oh, wow.
That's how I always describe the ladies. And for 2 years, they've been in artist development, something we don't do today.
Yes.
You know, you have to become successful. I believe in a book, Outliers, with Malcolm Gladwell, where he talks about to be successful, it requires 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
And so these ladies have been in boot camp. They've been in artist development. Certainly not at 10,000 hours yet, but I can see the progress every time they perform.
And that's, I mean, 10,000 hours, something that my mom always instilled in me, and definitely from that book. In a day of when you have no A&R and no artist development, and you don't see a lot of girl groups? What makes you say, you know what, I'm going to completely go the other way and try to bring this back into the culture of music?
Well, I was fortunate. I've done this girl group called Destiny's
I
Child,
think we might have heard of them.
the number one female group of all time,
Mm-hmm.
Billboard top 10 artists of the decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were in the top 10 artists of the decade, along with Beyonce.
Yeah.
Um, then there's this group called Trinity 57,
Yep.
uh, number one female gospel trio
Mm-hmm.
in the history of gospel music. I managed them, and they were also on my record label.
Mm.
So I think I have the 10,000 hours of experience
Mm-hmm.
to do it again.
Yeah. And, you know, I think this is perfect timing because, again, there's nothing like that, especially two rappers, female rappers, and a vocalist. There's nothing like that out in the market
That's
right now.
called being a visionary.
Yes. Yeah. Which you
10 traits of highly successful professional.
go to that panel, get that book. I plugged it for you.
Thank
Or you
you.
can do it, no problem.
Not a panel.
I'm sorry, it's a
It's a
Solo.
It's a session.
solo session.
Okay, I like that solo.
Solo
session.
session. Solo session.
Okay,
All right.
we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. And you know, you've been a person that has not stopped learning, and you told me during the interview that you were getting all kind of degrees. And what did you get your degrees in?
Well, first of all, I have the privilege, and I call it a privilege. I teach at Texas Southern University in Houston, one of our historic black universities.
Yes, HBCUs.
Helped to create a degree program called ERM, Entertainment Recording Management.
Nice.
I teach mainly artist management and intro to the recording industry in the School of Communication. I also teach grad class media entrepreneurship there as well. And so in the last 3 years, I've got my MBA, and I've gotten my PhD.
So you a doctor?
Yeah, I am. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Dr. Mathew Knowles.
I worked hard to get that.
Yes.
I accept that from you.
Okay. I'll start calling you that from now on.
All right, let me hear it again.
Dr. Mathew Knowles.
That's all right.
Can I throw that at the end of that?
Yeah.
You liked it. I had to throw that
I
there.
like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like
That's
that.
you. That's for you
That's
now.
me.
Now that you're a
Yeah.
doctor, that's for you. That you got that. All right. So you're instilling now on a scholastic level for which is amazing. I mean, you never stop giving back.
And then I have my next book I'm writing now. It'll be available for pre-sales in November. It's called Racism from the Eyes of a Child.
Yeah.
And it talks about me growing up in Alabama, being the first black, middle school, being the first black in high school, being one of the first blacks at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. And then my corporate life did the same thing. I worked at Xerox for 10 years, but for 8 years, I was in the elite division of Xerox Medical Systems, where we sold zero radiography for breast cancer detection.
Wow.
Today is breast cancer awareness, but I, for 8 years, sold the equipment for breast cancer detection. Was the leading modality, and was the number one sales rep in that division worldwide, 3 out of 4 years worldwide. And then got a knock on the door and became one of the first blacks to sell CT and MRI scanners in America. Did that for 4 years and got another knock on the door, because when you're successful, you get these knocks.
These
on the
knocks
doors.
are just coming out of nowhere.
And then I worked with Johnson & Johnson as a neurosurgical specialist, one of the first blacks to do that in America. So that's what the book is talking about. Racism from the eyes of a child.
Right. And we had the fortune of hearing a little bit of your story as far as racism on your daughter's album, Solange, Seat at the Table, which I thought was amazing. And to hear your personal perspective was incredible too. So I take it a lot of the book would also be focusing on a lot of that stuff that happened to you coming up, and beyond just the boardroom and these high successful places, you were facing racism head on.
Every day.
Yeah.
But I won't give it away. But I will tell you thank you, because you've given me a seat at the table,
Hey.
and I like to drink a little lemonade.
Oh, come on, man. Look at you just throwing it. I think we got to end off on the dab. Can we just end off on the dab one more time?
Hey, why not?
Let's go. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Dab. That's it. That's it. That's all I needed in my life.
We out there.
We out. Thank you, Dr. Mathew Knowles. There you go. For being here. Circle of Sisters 2016, we out. Peace.
It's been fun, man.
Hey, man.